Well, hey, y'all. Welcome to Open Mic. We are so excited to have you here so that we can cue some of your A's. We hope you're having a great day. Rob and I both got to enjoy the Golden Globes last night.
We did.
Yeah. Well, first of all, how you doing, Rob? You just finished a kick-ass interview.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I interviewed Cynthia Summers, the costume designer for The Last of Us. Mm-hmm. And who knew that she was up? They were up in Calgary for 15 months.
Dang.
They spent the whole 2 winters and a summer.
Whoa. That is a long time to be working on a show, though.
I know.
That's interesting.
You'll be able to hear that interview next week right here on the John Campea channel on YouTube.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Well, what did you think about the show last night?
I thought, okay, you know, the Golden Globes basically suffered a cancellation.
Yep.
And what I really thought, the quality of the show, maybe people were less drunk or whatever.
Not Mike White.
No, not Mike White.
No.
Well, he was moved.
Yes.
He was crying. He was moved.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Coolidge never fails to disappoint. I think she should get up at every award show, whether she's nominated for something or not.
Yeah.
They should just let her get up and speak for a while because nothing puts a smile on my face more than Jennifer Coolidge. And she was peak Jennifer Coolidge last night. Oh, yeah. But what I really did enjoy was there is a lot of talk about representation. And I always say that the great thing about representation is we hear the voices and the stories of people that we haven't heard from before. And I always say that every person has a story to tell. All you have to do is listen. And I really liked last night's show because we did see a lot of people. The woman the comedian who created Abbott Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
I really like her. And it was funny because I was watching a clip of her and there was an Oil of Olay ad before the clip that was her on the Oil of Olay clip. I don't know if the algorithms freaked me out, but it was Abbott Elementary is a great show.
Yes, it is.
And the story of how she got it made is really interesting. And it was just, and to see Angela Bassett win and to see Mike White win for White Lotus. And I got to say, Ryan Murphy, man, he gets up there and makes his political speech, recognize all these people. I was like, bam, go, Ryan Murphy.
That speech was so well done.
It was so well done.
What a classy thing to do with your lifetime achievement, to lift others up and talk about how these people, too, have just not only benefited your career, but are the people who are going to be the shining lights for kids all across the globe to go, I see myself in that person. Yep. I see myself in their struggle.
And I, like you, I was like, I thought, look, he's one of the most powerful people in Hollywood now in terms of the shows he's making. But for him to get up and do that was a very cool move.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily that you could see from Matt Bomer's face that I don't think he knew that he was going to do that.
No, well, MJ's face too for the standing ovation when it cut back to her, just that mouthed thank you. I mean, it was really emotional.
Really, really powerful. And people can be cynical all they want, but people forget also, and the people that are not in the industry, when you're making shows or making movies, it is long, hard, difficult work. Mm-hmm. And to make something that resonates with people is even harder.
Yeah.
And we just take it for granted because I turn it on or I turn it off. Somebody spent, like I found out right now, 15 months making one show. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see that kind of recognition. And I thought those were highlight moments. I think that's why people get cynical about award shows, but it was moments like that. Michelle Yeoh, Angela Bassett. I loved hearing
Juan's speech.
Great.
Well, I think this was a really, really great example of what the Hollywood Foreign Press Association was saying they wanted to do as far back as October of 2021 was, they want inclusion to be at the core of what they do and not just fitting quotas or filling quotas,
right?
But actually celebrating diversity and inclusion in a way that celebrates filmmaking.
Well, and it's funny because my experience working in the industry, I've always thought of production people that are actually on set. It's kind of like a traveling caravan. Mm-hmm. It's like an old time carnival, a carny show going from one town to the next. It's a wacky bunch.
Yeah.
And I've met lots of crazy, wacky people. And, you get on a film set. And I'm not talking about people that work in agencies or the studios, but the people that actually work in production, they work for a living. And it's got a crazy cross section of folks.
You got to be a little bonkers to be in production.
Yep.
It's always like having camp friends, Yep. You're going to have weird and wild memories that maybe those friendships also are a little different than your day to
A
day.
little different, and the people are a little different. I've had lots of crazy experiences with people I met on productions, and I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Well, and speaking of crazy experiences and crazy people, that brings us to you guys.
You
We want
guys.
to hear from you, amazing folks, and what you want to talk about. So, Rob, what do we got?
Well, we've got Jonathan Schultz says, when do you think we will get the answer to where the 10 rings and Miss Marvel's gauntlet came from? Before or during the Kang dynasty?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
that's a great question.
Good question, Jonathan.
What do you think?
Well, I have to say, I would think that just judging from some of the iconography that we've seen in the trailer for Quantum Mania, there are a lot of rings going on there. Rings rising, rings look like shields of bases, and I don't know what they are, but I would assume that we would get some kind of indication or at least direction. If we don't know exactly what they are, the seeds will be planted in Quantum Mania, I would imagine. So we're going to know about the 10 rings. We're going to know about the Miss Marvels and, to a certain extent, Captain Marvels. How does it all work together?
Well, and I think it is going to be sooner than later because there's kind of a Chekhov's gun to it all, right? We've seen these gauntlets 2 times, discussed it a 3rd time. I think we're going to find out about it pretty soon. So I would say prior.
And it's interesting because they say at the end of Shang-Chi, well, these don't match anything in our database because they're from the quantum realm. That's why.
So
that's,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah. Great question, though.
Good question. Big Mouth Stan has a question. I believe that film is the closest thing we have to time machines. It dawned on me when I was watching Rebel Without a Cause that only film can best bring you inside the mind of a 1950s teen, as an example.
Ooh, yeah. They really are just kind of these time capsules.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean,
beautiful way to look at them.
I've always lamented the fact that video technology and film technology is only a little more than 100 years old, because how great would it have been to have like live from Golgotha, it's the crucifixion, bringing it to you, and you'd have video crews out there. Maybe not just that.
Very
but
Monty Python-esque.
I mean, right? And tonight we're building the pyramids with blah, blah, blah. We're the foreman. We're talking to him, or all of the Library of Alexandria, or who knows? It would have been. But yeah, in a way, I mean, we get it. The Hollywood version of what a youth of the 1950s looks like.
Yeah.
But you still get the clothes, the look of it all. And I think in a way that's one of the appeals of watching. That's why I love classic films. Although it also makes me wish I wanted to wear more suits.
Oh, man.
I wish I lived in that day where men wore suits all the time.
I do too.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great?
Yeah. Everyone looks so dapper then.
I know. Have to get in better shape, though. You got to be in good shape to make a suit look good.
Nah, you're fine.
No. Big Cookie says, I think Kang might be waiting or wanting to spend some time with a certain distant heroic relative, a.k.a. Reed Richards. Thoughts? Bring on the filthy.
Well, we gotta build the Fantastic Four before we can get to that, I think.
Unless they're trapped in the quantum zone already, lost in the 60s.
I really do want that to be the thing, but I've gotten my hopes before, Rom, when you've given me like a juicy theory.
I know, it never happens.
Like the X-Men one of them living in the animated universe as a pocket universe, and then they'd come into our own realm. I loved that so much.
Well, that I didn't really believe.
It was one of those things that I went, but that's my headcanon now, and I like it so much more than anything else.
Well,
and
that's
I have to stop doing that as a fan.
I know. Wanda, maybe she'll bring the mutants back.
Maybe.
She made them go away. I mean, but I do think it's interesting now that we have Namor, now that we have Miss Marvel, we've got mutants. All they have to do is cut to Grey Malkin Lane and show us Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Done.
Boom.
Mutants have been here the whole time. They just haven't been on the world stage.
Yeah.
I mean, the mutants have stood by and watched the Avengers defend Manhattan. They didn't fight. Charles Xavier's like, just
Not yet.
stay in. Yeah, not yet.
But yeah, we're also operating under the assumption right now that they are going to faithfully adapt that Kang has this connection.
Right.
And as we've seen with other Marvel properties too, they take a lot of inspiration, but we don't always use the comics as a specific blueprint. So some of these variants could be completely different characters. We could have them related to an entirely different superhero. I mean, like Cassie could end up being a Kang variant or something like that.
Could be. We see a lot of Ant-Man variants in that trailer.
We do.
I mean, it could be the Council of Ant-Men. You never know. but it seems like it doesn't really work out for all the Ant-Men.
No.
Jonathan Schultz comes back and says, chances of us getting a Kurt Cobain biopic, not documentary, in the next 10 years, it's been almost 30 years since his passing. I'm sure we're going to get one.
I think we will, but also, I mean, keep in mind, too, that he's got family alive.
Yeah.
That feels very, very strongly about how he has been, depicted just in media in general. So that's something to just take into consideration. Is that a film that you want to have happen with his family's blessing? Pam and Tommy, I know that was very, very different, but that's a show that was done, without their consent to a degree. They were asked if they wanted to consult. They did not, and the show moved forward.
And there's a documentary about Pam Anderson coming out.
Yes, yeah.
And I read a thing, and she was not happy about it. She had to relive that whole part of her life.
And Kurt Cobain, his death was very, very tragic. And for us, it's a news story. For other people, that's their family, that's real life. So stuff like that, I always just want people to remember that they're real people and you have to handle these things very, very delicately. Look at Elvis, right? Austin Butler had a friendship and relationship by the end of that film with Priscilla and the rest of the family. So I just, as much as we might want that content, remember they're real people.
It's true. Although they are making Blitzway, a great company, is making a 6-scale Kurt Cobain figure.
Is he going to go in your band?
He's going to go in my band, which
hell
means
yeah.
they had to license him out. It's an officially licensed figure. So at least, I'm glad to get. I still need a bass player, but hey.
Ooh, who would you want to get?
Anybody, really. Yeah. I mean, a good bass. Actually, I'd love to get Peter Hook from New Order because he's low slung, but nobody's ever going to make Peter Hook from New Order bass player. But it would be pretty great.
That would be cool.
What are you going to do? John Redcorn says, over or under 40%, we get Spidey 4 before Secret Wars.
Ooh.
Well, we're supposed to. Is that 20? It's 2025.
So then under, just because.
Yeah, I'm going to say under too.
Under.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure that out. But
they need to figure out their licensing.
Because I think that whatever happens to Spider-Man, here's the thing. I'm not even convinced that our Peter Parker, the Tom Holland Peter Parker at the end of No Way Home, is in the MCU universe. Mm-hmm. I think he could be in a different universe.
Yeah.
After that Doctor Strange, who knows what happened? Who knows where anybody is or where everyone's going? But yeah, I think under.
Yeah, I agree.
Mickey Bell says, on The Impossible, it was based on the true story of a Spanish family, and the real-life person Naomi Watts played helped with the film's production. Yes, I knew that.
Very
and
cool.
It was a Spanish director who made it.
Oh, nice.
Made that movie, yeah. But I think they put, Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor because more people would see it. And they did. I love that movie. Have you seen it?
I've never seen that movie.
You will freak out.
Okay.
You'll be like me because it's so.
Yeah.
And it's not exploitative. It's just the situation is so like, oh my God, I'm glad I'm never in this situation ever.
Yeah.
Nor do I ever want to be. Mickey Veach says, there's a skit on YouTube called Mickey Fires Bob. Oh, we've seen this. And it's basically a soft remake of the desert scene from Casino, but it's with Bob Iger and Chapek instead. Highly recommend when you can. I have watched this. We talked about, were you here when we talked about it?
I wasn't here when we talked about it.
It's pretty funny.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
I love doing a Mickey voice and just yelling things at people.
Oh, you'll like this.
Great. All right.
Raymond Verrata says the DGA nominations announced. No women again for the top movie prize, and no James Cameron. Can he pull a Ben Affleck at the Oscars and win Best Picture? You know what? I find that fascinating that I guess maybe the DGA is over James Cameron, but I'm surprised Sarah Polley did not get a nomination for Women Talking.
Yeah. That's very, very interesting to me.
Yeah. I'd have to see who's on that list. We had a lot of very worthy directors, though, this year. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. John Redcorn says, it won't happen, but a big FU from James Gunn to The Rock would be to cast Roman Reigns as the DC Universe's Black Adam. I mean, Gunn has worked with wrestlers before. I don't think that I mean, maybe Roman Reigns if he's best for the role, but I don't think that James Cameron wants to.
James Gunn. You're
Pardon
doing
me.
a John.
I just did a John. I don't think James Gunn wants to piss off Dwayne Johnson.
Probably not. And also, look, Roman Reigns needs to sell me in the ring before he's going to get in front of a camera. Okay?
Whoa. Wow, that's fighting words.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
Chris, these are real people.
These are real people. I
have
understand.
feelings, man.
They have real feelings. Roman, I'm
Wrestlers
sure you're a
are
lovely,
people, too.
delightful man, but I got to believe you a little more. All right? You can't always have a Kevin Owens helping sell the fight. Kevin Owens, I think, is one of the greats right now. He can sell, man. He can sell stuff. Roman's
crowd.
pretty.
Tough crowd.
Roman can throw a hell of a Superman punch, but come on. Step it up.
And she says she don't know sports. Come
My,
on.
oh my.
This
If Chris got into sports,
this is
she'd
like
be
the
like,
one sport I know.
yeah, but if you got into sports, you'd be great at commentary.
Oh, thanks, Jonathan. I have to learn so much stuff, though.
Late night alum says, "Sup, crew? It's my birthday."
Oh, happy birthday.
Only memory I have is the doctor slapping my ass. Just kidding. Say, what a humbling, passionate speech.
What? Is that Rob talking, or was that part of the?
No, that's part of the
That's
thing.
the
Late
thing.
night alum says that. Just kidding. Say, what a humbling, passionate speech by K. Hugh Kwan. Well deserved. That was
such a good
and he thanked his wife at the end. That was
Oh,
adorbs.
yeah. I loved both of them wearing the googly eyes, and him thanking Steven as well at the beginning was really, really sweet. So good.
And they got to meet up like he met Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Tyler Pfeiffer says, where would you rank Adam Driver among actors? Well, I think Adam Driver is a very unique, interesting performer.
14.
But
He's number 14.
he's not,
I don't know. How do you answer that?
but like, is he Laurence Olivier? I don't know.
I think he's a great actor.
He is a great
He makes
actor.
really, really interesting film choices, too.
Yeah. It's funny. I have this, I love the movie Patterson, which is this very quiet film when he plays a bus driver and a poet in this small town. And I think Jim Jarmusch directed it, but it's not an ostentatious performance, but I just liked him in it. Mm-hmm. He's always good. Yeah. Orange Hand says, back when The Mandalorian started, people seemed to love the volume. Now I see some complaining about shows with obvious volume shots. Quite a turnaround. Well, Orange Hand, it's the way it's used. Mm-hmm. I think what's happened is very quickly on shows like The Mandalorian, the volume stage became a crutch.
Yeah.
And I think when it, if you compare it to the Andor, if you compare the Mandalorian to Andor, especially Obi-Wan, where I don't think that the volume was used well at all.
Yeah.
One of the great things about Star Wars is the environments in which it takes place in. And one of the great things about Andor is the way they were able to use a real location, then augment it with adding like a turbo laser or a turret of some kind. So they would shoot on a real location and then add the Star Wars of it all. Mm-hmm. And it gave a great look to something. Whereas I think that The Mandalorian, I mean, how many times do we have to go to Mos Espa or whatever, Mos Eisley? It got really redundant after a while. Mm-hmm. But it's a great tool. But again, it's how it's used.
Exactly. 100% agree.
Fangblaze71 says, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is always pretty funny, but I swear every line of his in the first Avengers movie is comedy gold. Wish MCU humor was still that good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you think the writing has suffered in the MCU?
I mean, a lot of that, too, just comes down to Robert Downey Jr. delivery. Mm-hmm. He can say so many things that, another actor I don't think can make funny. It's all in that delivery. Him pointing out the Gattaca and stuff like that, too. I don't think one of the other actors would have made that line as hilarious.
No, and I think back then, too, the attitude towards these things changes. When they were making the first Avengers movie, they didn't know it was going to make $1.5 billion. There was a certain verve and a certain desire that once the MCU becomes what it became, there's a lot more money at stake. There's a lot more pressure. But back then, excuse me, there wasn't as much. Yeah. At least I don't think. Mm-hmm. Casey Mack says, I know you're not much of a wrestling fan these days, but how big of a mistake would it be if rumors of WWE selling to Saudi Arabia happens?
I mean, listen, I know I talk a big game. I'm honestly not that familiar with WWE because I'm a newer person to it. But I don't think this would go well. Haven't they in the past? We just see images of people like wrestling in oversized T-shirts and stuff, at least for the ladies. I defer to you on this, Ray.
My mic on?
Yeah, Ray.
Your
What do you
mic's on,
think?
but your camera's
Should
on.
they sell
there's
the-
not a lot of there's a lot of rules. There's a couple wrestlers that don't want they just don't go on the trips to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
One is Sami Zayn. He refuses to wrestle there. All the women that wrestle there, they're all in fully clad bodysuits.
Yep.
Yep.
burkas.
From their wrist to their
They'll
neck
wear like just
to the
giant T-shirts sometimes over their stuff.
From what I heard, my roommate said Vince McMahon came back into the chair, to his position because of like they're making decisions, and I could have swore Ryan, my roommate, he said last night that he did sell it, but it would be all over the news, so maybe he was just going off of a.
I think a lot of
rumor.
people were talking about this through Reddit, which I mean is obviously not a reliable source
Yeah.
too. So this could all just be a rumor. But obviously WWE has gone to Saudi Arabia in the past to do matches.
But the possibility of that happening, and what happens to all the wrestlers who don't want to wrestle there all the time? It's going to be a crazy situation. I hope Vince McMahon does the people who love this product good, and just like let it go how it's been going. I think the show has been great
Yeah,
without you, Vince. Sorry.
I agree. I didn't get into wrestling until the pandemic. And I've had a
Oh, wow.
friggin' blast. It's been so
Really?
fun. Yeah. Well, Tiffany and Travis, my buddies that you've met, they were our like pandemic bubble buds. And so we would watch wrestling with them because they're super into it. And they watch like MMA fighting and everything too. And I've really enjoyed
Rob,
it.
never wrestling? Never with you?
You know what? I was never a wrestling fan.
I would take you as.
I know. It's funny in the 80s.
You'd be a Becky Lynch fan. Tell you that for free.
Well, in the 80s, Fangoria magazine, the horror
Right.
magazine,
I've heard of that.
got really into wrestling because director John Carpenter was really into wrestling. So there
Oh,
was
was
a
he?
wrestling component to the horror crowd, but I couldn't get into it.
You knew the fake. It was fake.
No verisimilitude for me.
Oh, okay.
That's
Although to be fair, I loved seeing like Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3. And I loved seeing all of that. It's just that watching the wrestling to me was,
Yeah, I get it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Al Renshaw says, have you seen the recent The Hollywood Reporter Actors Roundtable? Ke-Huy Quan and Austin Butler were great, and their stories are funny. Ke-Huy Quan is a national treasure.
I need to sit down and watch them fully because I've just been watching clips of them.
Yeah, me too. I want to. Those are great, by the way. Those
so
roundtables are
good,
great. The
yeah.
directors round, they're great. Jonathan Schultz says, over or under 40%, we see Hugh wear a variation of the classic yellow suit in Deadpool 3.
I think you gotta. We talked about this on the main show one day. I think there's going to be a makeover montage moment where they're trying on clothes, and it's probably going to be to Hall & Oates, and it's going to be magical.
I think you're probably right about that. I could definitely see that happening. Because why not?
Yeah, it's Deadpool. Get weird.
Or even the classic brown and black,
Yeah.
the after the yellow and black. Why not? I could see that. They kind of did that with the Days of Future Past outfit with those colors, but it wasn't
bit.
the same thing. Al Renshaw says Michelle Yeoh telling the band to shut up was awesome.
I loved that. I
It
loved
was
the
great.
shut up, please.
I'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Al Renshaw says, I would love to see a Bond movie directed by Spielberg with Ke-Huy Quan as the villain. Take my money right now.
Ooh.
I would watch that, but the problem is the Broccoli family, Michael Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, keep a close rein on those movies. I don't know if they would give or cede the control that Spielberg would
Yeah.
want. Although I'd love to see that.
Be fun.
Be great.
Love to see what he could do with that.
Sorry, I'm looking at Ray's graphics for an upcoming show, and I got
Oh,
No
trying to do two
worries.
things at once.
are they Motassem?
Yes.
Motassem says, to set up Kang as the next big bad, he will indeed kill Squat.
He'll kill Squad.
He'll kill Scott. He'll turn Scott into Squat. To set up Kang as the next big bad, he will indeed kill Scott in Quantum Mania.
Of course.
Of course, he'll be back by the next Avengers film. You can't intro Kang as the next Thanos and have Ant-Man, of all people, beat him. Oh, I don't think Ant-Man's going to beat him. I don't know if you'll kill him, but he's not going to beat him.
He's definitely not going to beat him because we have more movies, first of all. And also, I love how the chat is still really hung up, too, at least on this morning's show, about Ant-Man just needs to get up in that booty and take care of business. Like, they're not going to do it, you guys. They're not going to kill him through, like, a very boys kind of situation. But I think they are going to kill off Scott. And because he can control different timelines and variations and all that stuff, then I think we just don't have a permadead Scott. But there have to be real stakes, and there's going to be some kind of little bargain they make with him.
Yeah, that could be.
That's my theory, at least.
All right. I can buy that. Jai CSC says, would it make much difference if Gunn and Safran waited to announce DC's slate when they have more pieces in place? Draft scripts, directors, actors. Who says they don't?
They could.
I mean, look, I think that they will. I don't think they're going to, they're not going to, in my opinion, I don't believe that they're going to make an announcement unless they have, I mean, just saying, like, we want to make this, we want to make that. That's not an announcement. I think they're going to say, we're going to make, here's what we're going to do. And these first 3 movies, so-and-so's directing. I don't know if they're going to announce actors, but they might. They're going to announce something substantial because they have to hit the ground running. These movies take 2 years to make. So even if they start tomorrow, which I honestly believe some of these things are already in pre-production.
Yeah.
We just don't know about it. So I think we're going to get more than just a slate, just names on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Al Renshaw says, over under 40% Robert Downey Jr. and or Chris Evans come back for Avengers Secret Wars. I think we will be getting almost everyone in this movie. I agree. Over.
I would say over.
They're going to bring back everybody who's ever been a superhero. Like I said, Shaquille O'Neal's going to come back and play Steel, even though he's in the DC universe.
What?
I know, I'm kidding. Maybe not that far. Maybe not everybody. But,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Every Marvel
Billy Zane
character.
is the Phantom as well.
Hey,
in there.
hey, you could have him come back. Why
I thought
not?
he was going to come back as Kazam, but okay.
I would love if he came back.
Billy's
That
the
movie.
Phantom, I think, is public domain. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Isn't it?
And if you make a movie in Canada, James Bond's public domain, but only in Canada.
Only in Canada?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's true. Keeping Up with the Sopranos says Plane gets an, oh good. You were really going to bum me out here. Plane gets an F for me for fun.
Woohoo.
It's exactly what you think it's going to be, a throwback to the 90s movies, and it goes for it. The action is fun, but some characters are disposable. A friend of mine who I trust, who John and I know, our friend Cliff Stevenson, who's actually been on the show, he's doing the special features and said it was great.
Ooh. These kind of movies are really fun, though. I love a Gerard Butler
I'm
action
going.
movie. It's fun. Mike Coulter's in it, who I friggin' love.
I got my man
like
crush
his
on him.
mom said he couldn't. He's like, I'm going.
He's a beautiful man.
He's a beautiful man and a tremendous actor,
And he plays a priest in the show Evil.
which is, that's a thing,
I'm telling you.
you know? Man, Gerard Butler was talking about in an interview how Robert Downey Jr. sent him the nicest note about how much he loves his movies, loves all these action movies that he does.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, these are fun. People get excited about them.
You know what? White House Down.
Olympus Has Fallen?
Olympus Has Fallen was awesome.
Yeah.
It was better than White House Down.
I love those movies.
They're great.
Great.
Love them. Only Giovanni all the time sends in a super chat and says, I had a dream last night where John sang Part of Your World at Disneyland in the middle of a show with a live orchestra.
That's a nightmare. That's not a dream.
No, John is a song and dance man. He can play instruments. He can sing.
That's more likely a Taylor and I are drunk at Disneyland situation. Though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think that's John on stage.
By the way,
We could go up there and sing. It'd be fine.
we should start a show called Drunk Disney, and once a month go to one of the Disney and get hammered and live broadcasts from Disneyland and take
man.
super chats.
I don't think they'll let you.
Yeah.
That gets very expensive
that
though. Their drinks
They
are
won't let
pricey
you?
at Disney.
Why not?
They won't let you film and stuff. Like they stop you.
What? Oh, no,
You can't live broadcast from
No,
Disney.
dude. Those if they see you doing stuff like that, the people that walk around the park will come and stop you.
I know that you can get demonetized really easily for the music on there, but Game Grumps did an episode recently. They also hired a Disney tour guide though when they do those fancy tours and have like the person walk around with you. So maybe there's some kind of workaround.
I said you can't do it.
Okay, listen,
I mean,
man.
you don't have to.
I gotta
Also,
get those.
Are you doing Dryuary?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, I
Is this
am.
like the sake?
No.
This mother. When we were doing Sober October, he's just drinking sake and was like, well, it's not alcohol. It's rice wine. I don't trust you.
Okay. True. No, I got to start my workout regime, my workout regimen, and alcohol's not a part of it.
You want to be accountability buddies?
Calabata bada bada?
Accountability buddies.
Yeah.
Serious about
Sure.
Accountability buddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can do that.
Okay.
All right.
Spiffy. Got very off track. Sorry.
Jonathan Schultz says, John, whether you're on open mic today or not, I'm wishing you and your family well. Much love to you all. We are here for you. That's very nice, Jonathan.
That's very sweet, Jonathan. For those of you who perhaps didn't watch the main show today, unfortunately, John's grandmother passed away this morning. Also, you know, he's got some family members going into surgery. He's just having a real day. And so all those positive, kind thoughts you could send his way are very, very much appreciated. I know he really, really appreciates you guys during this time. And that's why he just isn't here today, too. So thanks for understanding and giving him a little grace through all of this. We appreciate you guys.
Derek Large says, hey, guys, it's my 28th birthday, and my wife bought me the Criterion Collection Godzilla set. It's awesome. What is your favorite Godzilla movie? Oh, first of all, kudos to your wife because that set is awesome. For those of you who don't know, it's a big oversized book with a very pop art looking Godzilla on the front, and it has remasters of all the Toho Godzilla movies in it. But now there's different phases of Godzilla. I love Godzilla versus Monster Zero, or AKA Godzilla versus the Astro Monster, of which you have both versions. I like the original Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then I also really like the Millennium series too. But I love the 90s Godzilla movies. Godzilla versus Mothra.
Ooh, yeah.
And Godzilla versus Destoroyah. I love that too.
How do you feel about Godzuki?
Or Minya. Godzuki's from the animated show.
Yeah.
I like Godzuki.
He's cute.
But Minya's cool, when Godzilla steps on his tail so he can finally blow that atomic breath. Mm-hmm. But no, the Godzilla set is great. But it's only the Showa series. So does it end at Terror of Mechagodzilla? I think that's the last of the Godzilla film.
Yeah. I looked to see who you were talking to and then realized Ray was gone.
I know. I'm like,
I was like, just Ray now? Oh.
I think the set's only the Showa era
Okay.
Godzilla movies, where it ends at Terror of Mechagodzilla. I think. I don't know, because I have all the Godzilla movies. Who knows?
I prefer Godzilla versus Godzilla. He gives himself a hard look in the mirror and asks himself what it's all about.
Well, it's pretty funny because in Godzilla Final Wars, one of my favorite things in Godzilla Final Wars is when Godzilla, Man in Suit Godzilla, fights Roland Emmerich's CGI lizard iguana Godzilla and kicks his ass, throws that Godzilla into the Sydney Opera House. And the controller, who's taking control of all the world's monsters, says, I knew that salmon-eating iguana was worthless.
Ooh.
I'm paraphrasing, but yeah.
Fighting words.
But you know what? One of my favorite Godzilla movies, too, is the most recent, Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla. And the new one that's coming out looks great, too. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Cinema says, definitely can't wait for Phase 5 to start. I love the Ant-Man trailer. Kang's dialogue. Chills. Definitely betting on another trailer.
Ooh,
I don't know if we'll get another trailer because we're about a month
real
away.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
We might get a slightly different cut, kind of like what they were doing with Doctor Strange. But also then there were complaints about how that revealed too much stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ray, do you have a favorite Godzilla movie? There are no wrong answers.
I actually really like Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, nice.
I'm not much of a. Only got into Godzilla with the most recent Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
And then I've started following because the boring one with Bryan Cranston, the Godzilla parts in there were super dope, and he's super cute. Isn't the new Godzilla like the cutest thing? Like when you see his face and he scrunches up and like gets all mad.
I do love him.
I'd have a soft spot for the big G.
You can't not root for him,
I know, he's so fat and chubby. Like he's like a really big lizard.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's cute. I think he's adorable.
I get that. I like OG Pikachu when he's like still chubby. And then when he's like sleek Pikachu, nah.
I mean, they try to win my heart with Kong, but no, Godzilla is still cuter.
The Shin Godzilla is a little more terrifying because his mouth is bigger.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and Shin Godzilla is actually a really good movie.
So you're wrong, Ray.
Is that
He
an
said it is a
animation?
trap that
The
shows
No.
wrong
Godzilla?
answers.
No, it's the last Toho live action Godzilla, and then there's this new one that looks like Godzilla versus Evangelion.
I'm gonna look that up.
Shin Godzilla is really good.
Uh-oh. Here we go. One for Ray.
Suthius says, because of Ray, I will never listen to Encanto's Pressure. The same way again. Pressure like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Whoa-oh. Pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Whoa-oh.
Oh man.
Ray, look what you've done.
I'm just saying,
No.
peeing feels good. It's like one of the coolest things that you could ever do. I mean, especially if you like hold it for a long time and then you finally let it
It's
go.
a relief of pain and
Yeah,
pressure.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you need to stand there an extra second, do it because
I have to agree with you there. There's nothing like just water rushing through your urethra.
it's
to make your
great,
day
right?
feel
Like
better.
it feels good. I don't know if it's the same for women.
All
I
right,
don't know
guys.
if
So
you-
that's been a nice show of the kind of dying inside
That
right
is
now.
a great song about mental health. And now
Drip, drip,
there.
drip.
Drip, drip.
Ethan Holgate says, Rob, did you take your mom to see Avatar 2? I didn't get up to see my mom. And check this out.
Okay.
So I made my sister and her boys and to promise that they were going to take. My mom did not go to Avatar 2. She put her foot down. She said no. If I was up there, it would have happened. I would have strong-armed my own mother.
what? She loved the first one. Why didn't she want to go?
13 years have gone by.
Fair. And it's a 3-hour movie.
It's a 3-hour movie. So was the last one. My mom,
But she loved it so much.
I know, really disappointed me.
I really was excited to hear her thoughts on it.
I was going to record her too.
Yeah. Oh.
I got to go up there. I got to.
Yeah. Sort this out, Robert.
I got to sort it out.
Sort it.
Mom, Avatar 2. Logan Hoyne says, my friend was killed last night.
Oh my God.
I know it's under different circumstances, but in a weird way, I was able to relate to your terms of loss. Thank you.
Oh, Logan.
That's terrible,
I'm so
Logan. I'm really sorry to hear that.
It's horrible. We hope you're hanging in there. We hope your friend's family is okay too.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's awful. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here with us. Let us know if there's anything we can do.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear it. Dr. J says, I've noticed that Michael Douglas makes a limited appearance in the Quantum Mania trailer. As this is a father and daughter storyline, do you think Hank may make the ultimate sacrifice to save Hope and his family from Kang? Ooh. I don't know, but I could see that happening.
Well, especially since, I've killed an Ant-Man before. Which one? Which
Yeah.
ones? Which
Yeah.
variants? Which actual ones? I could see that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Or they become like best friends and it'll be called Kang and Lang.
I don't know about that. Kang and Lang.
Attorneys at law.
Lang Kang.
Jeffrey Hemphill says, after all these years, Raiders of the Lost Ark is still number one as the leggiest movie of all time, measured ratio between their largest weekend gross to their total domestic box office. I could see that because people just kept going.
Yeah.
That was the summer of 1981. People just kept going. I remember I was in a theater. There was, at the same time, is at the Factoria Cinemas. Raiders, Clash of the Titans, Dragon Slayer, For Your Eyes Only, and there was one other one I'm forgetting. But anyway, it was a great summer. Summer of 81 was great, and I probably saw Raiders 5 or 6 times. We kept going.
Yeah.
It's great. Raymond Verada says, after Ke-Huy Kwan's Golden Globe speech thanking Spielberg, Disney better make that next indie movie. It's Gen X Gold. In a recent Hollywood Reporter video, he mentioned Jeff Cohen, Chunk in Goonies, is his lawyer.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Wow. He turned out
love
to be
it.
some really good-looking dude, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good for him.
Right.
Good for him. Goonies forever.
Goonies forever, indeed. It's their time.
And with
It's true.
that, guys, we're just going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, DraftKings. So we'll be right back.
Guys, we want to thank one of the sponsors of this video, DraftKings. Guys, the NFL playoff picture is now locked in, and your go-to place for wild card round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. So to kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get 200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. Action so good, why bet NFL playoffs anywhere else? And if it were me, I wouldn't be betting against the Bills or the Bengals right now. So guys, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Campea, C-A-M-P-E-A. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get 200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code Campea. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
And thank you to our sponsor, DraftKings, for making this episode possible. Remember, guys, with anything in life, do these things responsibly. All right? What else we got, Rob?
Raymond Brada.
Right?
I already read that.
Okay,
so Raymond, thanks for that one. That was a good one. Big Cookie says, regarding the Ana de Armas trailer lawsuit, did you find the use of Michael Keaton in Morbius misleading? Huge fan of the show. Bring on the filthy again. Well, I mean, he was in the movie at the end.
He showed up.
He was there. I found all of Morbius misleading.
That's very true. Same, man. Same.
It led me places where I didn't want to go.
Bummed me out.
I'm telling you. Raymond Verrata says, congrats to Kevin Costner for his Golden Globe.
Yeah.
You know, I met Kevin Costner once in my life.
Oh, really?
I was working at Warner Brothers, and I had to answer phones for my boss after 6 o'clock at night. And he was friends, Bill Young was friends with Kevin Costner. And one night, Kevin Costner came in, and they were going to a boat show. And he was the nicest guy in the world. Chatted with me, just a lowly assistant. And he couldn't have been nicer. And I saw Taste of Melts. In 98, I was at the Steve Ross Theater on the Warner Brothers lot, there to see the first showing ever of the movie The Postman that Kevin Costner made as his follow-up to Dances with Wolves, based on a David Brin, if I remember, science fiction novel. And he walked out into this packed house of jaded industry people. He was beaming with pride. And he said, I only wish I could be out there in the audience with you seeing this movie for the very first time, because he was so proud of it.
Aww.
And I loved it. I love The Postman. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe it was because he gave that speech, and of course he got eviscerated, raked over the coals unfairly. I would buy The Postman in 4K if Warner Brothers ever puts it out for their 100th anniversary. Just saying.
What wouldn't you buy in 4K? Morbius?
Goonies.
That's so hurtful.
Goonies.
Of course you wouldn't.
Never going to be in my
Goonies
collection.
is lovely.
Goonies,
No, even Ke-Huy Kwan, even if he gave it to me himself.
You just weren't the right age for Goonies.
It has gratuitous kissing in it with Martha Plimpton.
Get out of here.
Rob hot take Burnett over here.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
You young people.
Yeah.
Danny Sanchez says, Megan bursting out in song out of nowhere is life.
I still have to see Megan.
That is something I need to see.
Yeah.
I've been catching up on everything else. You know,
Well, you know,
Babylon, Fablemans. I've been catching up on all that.
Yeah, same. Horror isn't usually at the top of my to-do list. But Taylor has said really great things, and John said I
Everyone
won't even
loves
be
it.
freaked out. So
Everyone loves it. You should go.
yeah,
Go
you
see
should.
it.
You should.
Danito says there are lots of videos on YouTube showing modern characters as 80s dark fantasy characters using AI. Everything from Avengers to Lord of the Rings. It's sick. Well, what's
a
weird
good
is that
read.
Lord of the Rings characters. The AI mashups are kind of cool, but why just 80s characters?
Yeah.
Why not do things like the Lord of the Rings characters as the cast of Dynasty?
Ooh, that's fun.
That's what I want to see. Alexis
80s.
Carrington, you know.
What?
Dynasty is character 80s.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If
Yeah.
I was gonna
Do
I
it
was
Oh,
gonna
Like
do,
do
you
the
know,
whole realm of 80s.
Yeah.
yeah. If you're gonna do that, like why not go in and do it all? The Falcon Crest.
Dress Aragorn as JR.
Come on, cheers.
I love that.
Oh.
Oh man.
That okay? I want the cast of Lord of the Rings at the bar, and I want Sam there. I want Diane there.
I don't know if
Perfect.
you've ever noticed my Instagram, like my Instagram pictures is Norm and
Is it Cliffy?
Cliff, Norm, and Luke Skywalker is between them, and they're all leaning against the.
Oh,
I've had that for years.
Oh, I haven't seen. I need to see that. And I want Mary and Pippin at the end of the bar gesturing up, and somebody give me a pint.
It comes
and
in
they don't.
pints. Yeah.
I'm getting one.
My unpopular take today potentially is I do not like the AI created art.
I don't either.
Okay, yeah. Like my friend Tanya LaHoo is a incredible artist who is constantly trying to get people to not steal her art in general to sell it on like Redbubble or junk like that. And now you have to worry about bots kind of studying your stuff to recreate it.
Yep.
You can get these kind of cool images from an actual artist, and isn't that rad? Go do
It
that.
is rad.
That's my suggestion, at least.
It is rad. Jonathan Schultz says the score for Ant-Man 3. Oh, the score for the Ant-Man 3 trailer was so good. I agree. I really like that score.
It sounded great.
It sounded great. I hope that's part of the score for the actual movie itself. I agree. Enlighten. I get it. Get it? Enlighten says, what decade are most of your favorite films from? Oh,
I don't.
all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't have I my tastes run the gamut of all of film history.
Same.
I mean, I watched Casablanca the other night with some friends. That's
movie's
what
so
42.
good.
It's so good.
That movie's
And the new
beautiful.
Warner Brothers remaster is amazing.
Yeah. Both versions of Sabrina, I'm a huge fan of.
Yep.
You know, I think a lot of, the stuff that came out in the 70s was really incredible and so innovative, kind of doing more of the anti-hero stuff that we now see so prevalent in a lot of our movies. I'm a sucker for an 80s kind of teen flick, like a John Hughes. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite decade, even though I really grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I watch movies from all eras. So there you go. Oh, look at that.
image is great.
So yeah, that's that.
Norm's like, he doesn't like you. Jared Vester says, just saying hello.
Oh, hello, Jared.
Oh, Jared. Thanks for that.
Wow.
Dwayne Cinema says, probably my most anticipated film at the moment is Dead Reckoning Part 1. I respect Cruise's stunt work so much. I have loved the Mission Impossible movies that Chris McQuarrie has directed with Tom Cruise, beginning with Rogue Nation and then Fallout and then Dead Reckoning 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
And Cruise's stunt work, I mean, that is beyond reproach. I mean, he really, really commits. I really want to know what the insurance costs on a Tom Cruise film. It has to be absolutely bonkers.
That
It has to be
motorcycle
out of control.
jump 6 times.
I know.
He didn't just do it once, 6 times that day. Does he get, I want to know, does he get paid per stunt? Like they used to pay a stuntman, they pay them per stunt, so if they have to do it over, they get paid again. Did he get paid extra money, or is that included in his fee?
I would hope that they just.
I mean, we got to find the insurance. I can't even. Can you even get insured?
I mean,
He must have to sign a waiver.
Me
There's no
personally,
way.
no, but
I don't think they'd be able to afford it. Yeah, because usually when you do your pre-production work, right, there is your actual insurance not only for your locations but for your cast as well. And every time I see him do these things where he's just like hanging out on a biplane, I'm like, whoa, what is that doing to the budget?
Maybe I'll go home and ask Chat GPT, how much does Tom Cruise get paid for the stunts that he does? And
Yeah.
he'll give me an answer.
I would hope so.
Just give us some more cake.
Oh, that cake was so good.
That- you can
Tom
buy
Cruise
that
cake. Is
cake.
great.
I know it's so far though.
But it tastes better when it's from Tom Cruise.
It does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's true.
Danny Sanchez says, I like MCU movie. I like MCU movies are looking.
I think he means, but like, do you think they're looking too much alike?
Yeah. Okay. Do you think MCU movies are looking too much alike? Well, I think like with Ant-Man and the Wasp, their Quantumania, there is all that CG. They have a certain color palette to their CG
For sure.
alternate universes that are beginning to get a little. But that's the MCU. Mm-hmm. Are you getting tired of it, or do you dig it?
No, I like it. I'm trying to work as a fan to go, hey, these are going to be their own thing. And I need to not be, honestly, so up my own ass about it. Why didn't they say the line I wanted? Why didn't they do this exactly like I wanted? Because I don't like those kinds of fans. And I feel like part of that is just having to commentate on stuff all the time. I feel like I have to look for things to not like sometimes. I had this problem a lot when I was doing my deep dives for that other channel of just constantly trying to ridicule media, and it made me really not enjoy stuff. That's why like the 2 years I took off from being a pundit was kind of awesome, because I just got to enjoy shit for what it was. And I'm
That
trying
makes
to come
sense.
back to that, because it's really hard to make movies, and I just want to like stuff. I just want to like things.
I will say this though, like the end scene in Wakanda Forever that was shot in Puerto Rico, where Shuri goes and sees.
That was beautiful.
No spoilers here, but where Shuri goes to
Yeah.
hang out, and then also the stuff they shot on location for the Eternals. I wish the MCU had more of that, because it had more of that feel in, like, say, Iron Man 1. There were more actual locations, whether they were in the desert when he was captured, or I like that.
Same.
Whereas Thor: Love and Thunder and Quantumania have a lot of that same feel because they're all shot on green screen.
Yeah.
We got a lot of that in a lot of the movies, but, depends where they go. Ethan Holgate says, I love all 3 Jason Statham Transporter movies and would love to see him return to another one, but I feel that time's passed now. Do you like them? I like the Transporter movies.
Yeah, they're fun.
They are fun.
I love Jason Statham
I do
movies.
too.
They're just a wild ride.
I think, was it The Bank Job? The Bank Job is a remake, a Jason Statham remake, but it's really good. Nobody talks about it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's good.
I'll have to check it
It's
out.
good. The
So I
Bank
love
Job's
them.
good. I love Jason Statham. He's great. Big fan. Danny Sanchez says, loving the hair, Chris. Super cute.
Oh my gosh, Danny, thank you. We have had weather here in Los Angeles, and I do not like it. And I just decided I was not going to straighten or blow dry my hair for the duration of that. So thanks, because I was very self-conscious about it today. I feel a little bit like a Cocker Spaniel. So thank you for saying it's nice.
Yeah, the atmospheric river is apparently not finished flowing over our heads.
No.
It's coming back. Callum says, hey, crew, just finished Dexter for the first time. And may I just say the New Blood finale was fantastic. I do think the finale opens up a spinoff for the future with Harrison. Do you think it'll happen?
I didn't watch the new one-off season.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it better than the seventh season of Dexter.
Oh, yeah.
That was lame. But they could. I don't know if they will, though. I don't know if people are clamoring.
I just didn't hear enough about it that
Yeah.
it would warrant the spinoff. I will say that still, for me, is one of the best opening sequences of a television show ever.
That's great.
Gosh, it was good.
So cool. Lavardov says, I'd like a Zelda film in the vein of a Green Knight or Dune. On location, real sets, treated with authenticity. It has the potential for it, I feel.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see it, but is Zelda that serious, though? Like, if you made Zelda in the vein of Denis Villeneuve's Dune, that's a pretty serious take.
I think it's, for me, I'd go more like Lord of the Rings, right? Filming
Yeah.
it on location in a place like New Zealand that does have this very otherworldly feel that has all those different regions that you need to go to, too.
I'd buy off on that.
I think that'd be rad.
That would be rad. I'd like it. I'll see that. Corey R. says, hey, crew, my favorite movie of all time is Good Will Hunting. Well, how about those apples? How do you like them apples? What are your thoughts on this movie and Robin Williams' performance? I think it's a great movie.
It's a perfect film, in my opinion.
It's a great movie.
I love it so much. And I think at least once a week, Logan and I do don't do that to me, Sean. Don't do that to me, Sean. Don't you? I love that movie. My family also, though, my mom grew up in Dorchester. And so a whole bunch of my family still lives in Boston. So I just have a real soft spot for that kind of stuff.
I love when Stellan Skarsgård comes out wearing, like, what's his name? Is it Jerry? The name of his professor? And he always wears that scarf. And he comes out, and Matt Damon's, he's solving the equation, and his assistant's there, and Stellan Skarsgård's all pissed off, yelling at him. And then his assistant stops and looks at the chalkboard and goes, this is right. I love that scene. Because I just love that he's like this douchebag math professor that's wearing a scarf.
Yeah.
But it's not like a utilitarian scarf that will keep his neck warm. It's
just a douchebag
It's
scarf.
a douchebag
Yeah.
scarf. I love that movie so much.
That's so
It's
well
great.
done. And Robin Williams is perfection in that
He's
film.
fantastic. I will end you. Oh. He's great.
So good.
The movie's great. James Argenta says, prediction. Ant-Man 3 ends with Hope and Scott trapped in the quantum realm, which leads Janet to take a leadership role of the Avengers to prepare for the Kang.
Ooh,
That could be cool.
that could work.
Look, Michelle Pfeiffer can do no wrong for me.
Yeah.
Ever since Grease 2. If you want to see a great Michelle Pfeiffer movie, watch Tequila Sunrise.
Sorry, do we mean Janet or do we...
Yeah,
Do we
because
mean
Hope and
Janet?
Scott
Okay,
are trapped.
Sign?
Yeah,
Okay,
Janet.
I just want to double check. All right.
Do we have Avengers now in the MCU? Who's in the Avengers?
I don't know.
I mean, Doctor
Who's
Strange.
on the lunchbox?
I don't know. And Doctor Strange wasn't even an Avenger. He's
Yeah.
telling people who can be on the lunchbox and
yeah.
who can't.
You can't say shit, wizard boy.
Yeah, like I can get you back on the lunchbox. No, you can't.
Get out of here, Harry Potter.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You were never on there.
Who's where? There's no who's in the Avengers?
You deal with Thanos once and you think you get to be there. Okay, pal.
Are you guys getting angry?
Yes.
I thought we were going to keep going. Okay.
Danny Sanchez says, please give John my condolences. It takes a real man to do what he did earlier today. Hope you get to see your family very soon and celebrate life.
Oh, thanks,
very
Danny.
nice.
We'll pass that along.
Dwayne Cinema says, I appreciate your time and taking my questions. Big fan of the show and the crew. Keep up the good work. I hope you're having a good day, Chris and Rob.
Aw, thanks, Wade. Are you having a good day, Rob?
Well, when I'm with you, I'm always having a good
Oh my
day.
gosh, you charmer. Stop.
It's
Okay.
true, though. We always
Aw.
have fun.
We do always have fun.
And you know what? We've also got Jonathan and Ray here to have fun with, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, Ray talks about bodily functions and I smile.
Yeah, it's the best.
See, he laughs. It's true. But thank you for that. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Suthius says, I love this theory out there that the various rings and bangles were actually made and sent back in time by the Avengers after their defeat. Those weapons will in turn defeat Kang's dynasty. It's kind of a cool, that's a cool idea.
That's a fun one. I like that.
I like that idea. That's
Kind
but
of like
you think that they would send them back to people that would know what they are. Like it's a mystery. Like we have to everybody's got to figure that out. Of course, they would know how people would come together.
Yeah.
I guess, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly. Oh.
It's kind of in the vein of the comic version of Age of Ultron,
Ooh.
where they kind of went back in time, and then when he appears, they're just like pop, and
Yeah,
he's
Could
done
be.
immediately.
I like that. That's not. I like that theory. The thing is, we theorize about these Marvel movies, and it's usually more interesting than movies actually turn out.
Yeah.
That's why I mean, I love the MCU. I do,
Yeah,
but
I don't like. Yeah.
I've got to stop doing that because I always disappoint myself.
There's also
Which
the
is better than disappointing others.
That's
There's also
true.
the theory. Have you heard that? Probably you have. The let's see if this is working. The mutants are kind of like created through the force of like not the eternal,
The snap.
the celestial. That's
Oh,
in
right,
the
yeah,
ocean
yeah.
and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
Who
cool.
knows?
Like
Who
that.
knows? But
They're
that's like
well,
all-
because you've got the Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals crossover. That I want that omnibus. That
Yeah.
was something I read about. I want to read that. I love Jonathan Hickman's the whole Krakoa era of X-Men. I know some people don't because it's really weird, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just Plain Steve says, what's the better strategy? Sony in keeping the alternate Peter Parkers a secret even after the release date, or Deadpool 3 even after the release date, or Deadpool 3 coming right out with the inclusion of Wolverine 2 years before the film. That's interesting. So keeping the different Peter Parkers and Spider-Man a secret, or is it better that Wolverine announces his appearance with Deadpool years before the movie comes out?
I mean, well, I think we're going to have to see that movie to see if the payoff is all there.
Yeah.
From a narrative standpoint, though, I think, well, for the most part, we all were like, this is going to have all the Peters in it. And they were like, no, but it is. No, it's not. Yeah. I think that worked, though. I think
Yeah, I
that
did
worked
too.
for what that movie was and everything. This Deadpool film seems like it's going to involve Wolverine from pretty much the get-go. So it makes sense that you would talk about who your supporting castmate is.
Plus the fact that they're playing up the rivalry within social media and all
Yeah.
that is fun.
It makes sense for them and their dynamic.
Yes.
and it sure won't hurt the box office.
Oh.
No. They're going to make all the money.
All of it.
Brandon Nezamuddin says, did you guys hear about the drama involving Coppola's Megalopolis? Yikes. Although, to be fair, the same stuff happened with the Godfather films. Well, both Adam Driver and Coppola himself debunked those rumors. Although, which was, for those of you who don't know, Francis Ford Coppola basically sold his vineyard so he could finance his dream project, Megalopolis, which is supposedly a science fiction film about New York being destroyed in a cataclysm and these people coming back and rebuilding it as a utopia. And it has a great cast. He's putting his own money into it, and they're shooting in Atlanta. And they said some of the VFX people left. The the production designer left that there's a lot of tumultuousness on the set, but that was in the Hollywood Reporter this week. But then Coppola came out the next day and said that wasn't true, that there were certain personnel changes, and that Adam Driver said, we're not feeling it. We're having a great time making the movie.
Talked to, I believe, Deadline saying, I love my cast. I love what we're working on, and we are staying within budget. So
you never know.
Yeah. I hope it all goes well for him since he's invested so much of his own personal income into this film. I mean,
he's one of my favorite directors.
Yeah,
I want it to be great.
Same.
Dr. J says, do you think Maria Hill will be front and center of the new Secret Invasion series the way she is in the current comics run?
Well, we know some things, so
well,
we won't say
some people
anything.
know things that,
We know some things, so we'll move on. Maybe she will, maybe she won't.
Okay, but actually this is a special open mic where we reveal the secrets of the whole script, so here it goes. Just kidding.
Look at you. Oh my gosh. I'm proud of you, spoilers RMB. Look at you. Steel trap.
Well, yeah. They want to come out.
I know.
They want to come out.
Oh,
wanna come out.
man. He's not getting Marvel darted today.
His lip is quivering. All right, moving on.
Not today.
Tomorrow.
Greet Pack 9. All I can say is if you have a Hot Toys Maria Hill action figure, hold on to it. Greet Pack 9 says, I recently saw the behind the scenes of The Northman, and I did not realize that the village scene was shot in one long take. Amazing. Love you guys. The Northman rules.
I love a single shot.
I do too.
I love that so much. Love when it works.
You know, I was pitching this the other night. I was doing a stream. I have a dream. My dream is to take the cheesy 1980 horror film Blood Beach.
I love that you're looking at me like I know that.
I know. Blood Beach, I know. I want to remake Blood Beach, and I want to do it in one take. And it will start about 4:30 in the afternoon. It'll have magic hour. The sun will drop. We shoot it in one take.
Like Rope?
Yeah, but
Holy
we're on a
shit.
beach. And it opens. Here's the opening shot. It opens with a couple getting out of a car, getting their stuff, and they're crossing the road, and the camera's following them. This is how it starts, and they're clearly in an argument. And then the camera's following them, and then somebody crosses by, and then the camera follows the person that crosses by, and you're off to the races. And there's a creature that is that's sucking people under the sand and killing them. And it goes on, and then the shenanigans happen. And at the very end of the movie, you catch up with the couple, and they've resolved their problems, and they leave. And that's the end.
You want to cast me and Logan?
If you want to be in it?
Yeah.
I'll kill the two of you at the same time.
Yeah, it'd
happening
be
in this
so
scene?
romantic.
Anyway, so there you
I feel
go.
like this scene,
Perfect.
he got too close to the sand.
My Blood
no.
Beach idea is to make it like Russian Ark, the movie Russian Ark, which is all one shot, the Hermitage Museum, but do it on the beach, and it's got a creature under the sand killing people. It's one shot.
I love
Come on,
it.
Jason Blum, give me a call.
Yeah.
Dr. Nova says, Chris, what are some of your favorite animated movies and actors?
Aw.
Rob, do you think Galaxy Quest would be better with the Star Trek actors? Well, let's take those one at a
Yeah,
time.
you want to go first?
No. Chris, what are some of your favorite animated movies and actors?
Some of my favorite voice actors are, Steve Bloom, Grady Lease. I'm a sucker for Paige O'Hara's work in Beauty and the Beast. I think Beauty and the Beast is one of the greatest animated films of all time, and so did the Academy, being the first animated film to be nominated for Best Picture, not animated film, Best Picture. I really love Belle. I have a Beauty and the Beast thing, I guess. I love so many of the Pixar movies. Persepolis, which is also a great graphic novel. There's so many out there, and it's such a great medium, and I think more people need to take it for what it is. Beautiful stories just told in a different medium.
It's true. Do I think Galaxy Quest would be a better movie with the actual Star Trek actors? I don't think so. I think the distance makes it a better movie. It would be very interesting to have made Galaxy Quest with the Star Trek actors, but I think it might be a little too personal and hit a little too close to home, and I don't think it would be necessarily as entertaining.
Yeah. Plus, Sigourney Weaver just crushes in that movie.
And so does Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman's so good in that
Grapthaw's
movie.
Hammer.
Ugh, so good.
So good. Danny Sanchez says, man. Wait, I can't.
Ant-Man sequence.
Oh, Ant-Man sequence looks like fire, or so it looks like Spider-Man sequence too much. Does it? I don't know. Is that true? Look, I'm holding out all judgment until I see the movie.
Same.
And I guess we're going to end. We have some support. Dr. Bright, sorry about that, sent in a super chat, and Fierce Isaac sent in a super chat. I guess that's it.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for being here for Open Mic, you guys. Thanks once again to DraftKings for making this possible. Thank you to Jonathan Ray for being here and making this show move smoothly. Thanks to Rob. Rob, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at RM Burnett. Find me on Twitter at Burnett RM, or find me on my own YouTube channel, The Burnett Work. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who sent kind wishes to John today. Yeah. He very much appreciates it.
Mm-hmm. We really do, you guys. That's so sweet of y'all. I'm Chris Carr. You can find me right there. And we hope we see you tomorrow bright and early for another episode. I won't be here. I have the day off. Bye-bye.